Hello students, here in this video you will see the GE 8292 Engineering Mechanics Unit 4 Dynamics of Particles. In this unit you will see first basics of displacement, velocity and acceleration. First we will go with dynamics. What is dynamics? Dynamics is the branch of science which deals with the study of particles or body. When the particles is in the motion, this is the dynamics. Here the particles is nothing but negation of shape and dimension of the object or body. Here we consider the car. We'll take the car. The car is considered as the particle when all the force is acting on the same point. That called is center of gravity. All the forces is acting in the center of gravity. In that case, you will taken the car as the particle, and the forces acting in the different places where that object is taken as the rigid body. Okay, uh, all the forces is acting in the same point, that will be considered as the particles. Okay, that is called the particles. Dynamics is the branch of science which the particles are body when it is in the motion. That is called the dynamics. Okay, the dynamics is classified in the two categories. One is kinematics, another one is kinetics. What is kinematics? What is kinetics? Okay, here kinematics, the force will not be considered. In kinetics, the force will be considered. Let's see. Kinematics, the study of body in the motion, and the force which cause the motion are not be considered. Okay. For kinetics is the study of body in the motion when the force which cause the motion are considered. Okay. Difference of kinetics and uh, kinematics. In kinetics, the study the causes of the motion of the object. When the object is moving, what are the causes begin the uh, begins to stop that object? Okay, the kinematics is a study of the position, acceleration, and speed of the object. The mass of the object is taken into the consideration. In kinetics, the mass of the object is taken into the consideration. In kinematics, the object of the mass is not taken into the consideration. Okay. Kinetics, its application lies in the design of automobiles. The application is design of automobile and aircraft and everything. And kinematics is the application of study of the movement of celestial objects. Here the force is considered. Here the force is not considered. Okay. In kinetics, uh, it does not involve any mathematical expressions. In kinematics involves the mathematical expressions. Okay. Next, distance and displacement. Let's see the difference of what is distance, what is displacement. Okay. Distance and displacement are two quantities that seems to mean of same, but the uh, distinctly different with different meaning and definitions. Distance is measure of how much ground an object has covered during the motion. Okay, how much ground an object has covered during the motion. Displacement is referred to the measure of how far out of the place in the object. Okay, let's see. This is on example. The cycleman is going here A to C. This is the path. This is the path. This is the way. The cycleman is going by the cycle. this way. Okay, A to B and then B to C. This is the path. Here the distance is how much ground. See, how much ground on the object has covered during the motion. The distance is the A to B, 4 meter plus 3 meter. This is the distance. So total distance is 4 plus 3. That is 7 meters. Okay, this is the distance. And displacement is nothing but how far out the place in the object. The object is how far move here to here. Okay, just this distance only calculated here for the displacement. The object is moved from this place to this place. Okay, here not be considered the path and the ground distance cannot be considered. Okay, in displacement the object is from A to B. How far this is the movement. Okay, so the displacement is 5 meter here and distance is 4 plus 3 7 meter. Okay, always the displacement is less than the distance. Okay. Um, let's see next. What is distance? Distance is the total movement of an object without any regards of direction. Okay. We can define distance as to how much ground an object has covered deposit its starting or ending point. Okay. Displacement is defined as the change in position of an object. It is a vector quantity. Okay, and has the direction and magnitude. This is the displacement is the vector quantity, and distance is the scalar quantity. Okay. The next example. Let's see. Uh, an object move along the grid. This is the grid. Okay, this is the grid through the point A, B, C, D, E. Okay, this is the object. This is the point. This is the object is moving along the grid. Okay, in the path of A to B, B to C, C to D, and D to E, and E to F. Okay, as shown below. The is the side of the square tiles measure the 0.5 kilometer. The side of the this side of the tiles. This is the square tiles. So both the sides and all the sides it has the 0.5 kilometer. The side of the tiles measure is 0.5 kilometer. Calculate the distance covered by the moving object. Find the magnitude of the displacement of the object. Okay, calculate the distance and calculate the displacement. Let's see. First, distance is nothing but this is the starting point, this is the ending point. So calculate here A to B. Okay, point 0.5, point 0.5, point 0.5 plus point 0.5 plus point 0.5. Total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 into point 0.5, 3 meters. Okay, this distance is 3 kilometer. Okay, A to B is 3 kilometers and B to C is point 0.5 plus point 0.5. Total 1 kilometer. Okay, this is 1 kilometer. Here C to D is point 0.5, point 0.5, point 0.5, 1.5 kilometers. Here this is 0.5 kilometer, this is 0.5 kilometer. In total is 6.5 kilometers. The distance covered by the moving object is 6.5 kilometer. Okay, you can calculate easily. And then go for displacement. The initial position point A. Okay, initial point is the A and final point is the F. Okay, so already I told in that last example how far this object is moving. Okay, this ground distance will not be considered here. The object is moving from A to F. Okay, this is the displacement distance. Okay, this is the displacement distance. So you can calculate using the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, hence the magnitude of the displacement is equal to the distance AF, which is calculated by the applying the Pythagoras theorem uh, to the triangle AFH. Okay, this triangle we will calculate the this distance. Okay, using the Pythagoras theorem, applying the Pythagoras formula, AF squared equal to FH squared plus AH squared. Okay, okay, already you may know the Pythagoras theorem. Okay, using the distance will apply. Okay, AH is the 1, 2, 3, 4 total 2 kilometers, and here AH is 1, 2, 3, 1.5 kilometers. Okay, can apply here. Okay, 0.5 into 4 square, zero point 0.5 into 3 square. Total 6.5 AF square root of 6.25 kilometer. Okay, taking the square root 2.5 kilometer. The displacement of this object moving is 2.5 kilometers. Here distance is 6.5 kilometer. Already I said always the distance is more than that of displacement. Okay, and the next, speed and velocity. Okay, let's see. Okay, before we go for the speed and velocity, show the first slide. Okay, let's see. Dynamics is the when the object is moving with motion. Okay, the kinetics and kinematics we'll see, and kinematics is classified into two categories: rectilinear and curvilinear. Rectilinear means and the object is moving in the straight path, and curvilinear means the object is moving in the curved path. Okay, the rectilinear is further classified into two categories. One is uniform acceleration, and one is variable acceleration. Uniform acceleration is nothing but the change in velocity rate is uniform. The change in velocity rate is uniform. For example, drop the ball from some height. Okay. Here the velocity, change in velocity are the same with respect to the gravity of the object. Okay. And for drop the ball from some height, the ball is going down. Okay, in that case, the velocity will be uniformly changes. Okay, constantly changes, uh, and variable acceleration. For example, uh, what is variable acceleration means the change in velocity rate is not uniform. For example, while going in the car, the velocity will not be same. Sometimes it velocity is low, sometimes it velocity is more. While going in the traffic, velocity will be that you can tell in speed, 20 kilometer speed. After that, you can going in the highways and state highways and national highways. That speed will be increased. That means acceleration will be keep on changes. That is mean uh, variable acceleration. Okay, and kinetics will be classified into four categories. One is Newton's law of motion, work energy principles, impulse and momentum, and impact of elastic body. In Newton's law, we can use the d'Alembert principle. The moving object in dynamically equilibrium state. Okay, the moving object is dynamically equilibrium state, and that will be considered here. In work energy principle, the work done is change in kinetic energy. The work done is always equal to change in kinetic energy equation. Here using the kinetic energy equations, and impulse and momentum, the force is acting in particular time of is called the impulse. The force is acting in a particular time. Okay, in particular time, It's called the impulse. The impulse is always equal to the rate of change in momentum. Impulse is equal to rate of change in momentum. This equation will be used here. And impact of elastic body. When two bodies is hitting in the opposite direction, I mean elastic bodies, impact of elastic body, the conservation of energy is taken for the other body. The conservation of energy is transferred into the one body to in body. Finally, uh, both will be in equal. Okay. Law of conservation of energy equation is used here. Okay, in one problem, one particular problem, we can solve by these three methods. But here, this is the different method. When the two elastic bodies is hitting in opposite direction, then only we can using this equation, impact of elastic body. For the other case, we can use this three equation to solve the same problem. Okay, let's go for speed and velocity. Speed and velocity. Speed and velocity can be little confusing for most of us. Difference between speed and velocity is that speed gives an idea of how fast an object is moving, whereas velocity is not only tell us its speed but also tell us the direction. Okay, the body is moving. We can define the speed as a function of distance. Here the speed is already we discussed about the distance and displacement. Okay, here the speed is a function of distance traveled. Okay, where the velocity is the function of displacement. Okay, uh, here instantaneous velocity is the velocity of the body at any given time. The average velocity is the total displacement by total time. That is given by V equal to del x divided by del t. Okay, del x is the total displacement and del t equal to total time. Okay, the average velocity is always less than or equal to the average speed. Already I said distance is always more than the displacement. With respect to this statement is driven. Okay, the average velocity is always less than or equal to the speed. Okay, so the speed is more and velocity will be less. Okay, this is the because of displacement can never be higher than that of distance traveled, but the distance traveled can be higher than that of displacement. Okay, already I said. A difference between speed and velocity. What is speed and velocity? The speed is the quantity measure of how quickly something is moving. The velocity is the direction of movement of the body or object. Speed is primarily a scalar quantity. Velocity is essentially the vector quantity. It is the rate of change in distance, and this is the rate of change in displacement. Speed of the object moving can never negative. The speed will not be negative. Here, the velocity of the moving object can be zero. The velocity can be zero, but speed cannot be negative or zero. Um, Speed is the prime indicator of the rapidity of the object. The velocity is the prime indicator of the position as well as the rapidity of the object. It can be defined as the distance covered by the object in unit time. Here the velocity is can be defined as the displacement of the object in unit time. Okay, and acceleration and retardation. What is acceleration and retardation? What is acceleration? Acceleration is the defined as the rate of change of velocity with respect to time. A rate of change of velocity with respect to time. Acceleration is the vector quantity. Velocity also vector quantity and acceleration also vector quantity, as it has both magnitude and direction. It is also second derivative of position with respect to the time. This is the acceleration is the second derivative position, and here the first derivative velocity with respect to time. The first derivative position is the velocity and second derivative position is the acceleration. Okay, the acceleration may be positive or negative. The positive acceleration is simply referred as the acceleration. Okay, the positive acceleration is simply referred as the acceleration. The negative acceleration is called as the retardation or deceleration. Okay, take it into note. Negative acceleration is called as the retardation or deceleration. Okay. What is difference between the acceleration and velocity? Acceleration and velocity. Definition. Acceleration is defined as the change of velocity of the object with respect to time. Okay. The velocity is defined as the speed of an object in particular direction. Okay. Change of velocity with respect to time. You can say like that also. The formula is the velocity divided by time. Here the displacement divided by time. The unit of the acceleration is meter per second square. Here the velocity unit is meter per second. Okay. Thank you, student. I hope you understand the basics of dynamics of particle, velocity, acceleration, and time, displacement, distance, etc. Thank you. Thank you so much.